Hello, FewCandy here, and welcome to a brand new Cities Skylines Let's Play series. And in actual fact, this is my first ever YouTube video. So we are here on the stunning Takatulu map by Eggsy. Now he is an amazing map maker. Be sure to go and check out his collection on the workshop. There is a link below and to this map as well. Go and check it out because he's got some amazing maps on there and genuinely something for everyone's taste. So we are going to call this city Auridon. It is a modded playthrough, so apologies to those console players out there. We will also be using a selection of workshop assets, but we'll update that list as we go because I just can't guarantee how many will creep their way in across the course of the build. So I'll do my best to keep that updated. As it's my first video, if you like what you see, please do whack that like button below. Drop me a comment, let me know what you think, and subscribe if you want to see more. So let's crack on. Okay, so we are here and we are going to start in the main start square, although I have used Ep.1 tiles mod to unlock the whole map because I hate that bug with the metro where the metro lines sync. So always unlock the map if you're using that mod right from the start is my recommendation there. And just admiring this detailing here. Love it around the start roundabout. So if you have downloaded this map off the workshop, I have made a couple of subtle changes to it. So I've changed the base theme to Boreal from European. I'm also using the realistic Boreal theme, but I have used Theme Mixer just to change up the pavement textures and also the cliff textures as well. So just a few subtle changes to the look and feel of it. So the main plan for the build is that downtown for the city will be over here, and my general idea at the moment is to put the main downtown right at the end of this sort of not canal but inland river here, with nice built up downtown areas all around it, but the central business district sitting right at the end there as a bit of a focal point. So that's the overall plan. So what we're doing is starting with a suburb out here, and we're going to make our way essentially up towards this main area here. So we're going to go ahead and start putting in our road network. So always have to just put in one little tile to unlock more road options right at the start. So let's do that. And then actually I tend to use rural roads to start off with. It's just easier on the budget, and I tend to go a little bit nuts with road networks to start off with because I like to forward plan. So I like to know where my road networks are going to go. So for example, this one here, this is going to be the main collector that's going to go round these suburban areas and up into the downtown. We have got this highway which will continue on as the main arterial as well. So this will be a slightly more local road than that, but it will definitely be going through these suburbs as we go this way. So starting plan, we have this oil field over here and I definitely want to utilise that. But to start off with, I'm actually going to put the industry this side here. We will have more oil over there and start off with residential on this side. So I'm going to start by putting in a roundabout here, although I'm not going to put in the roundabout just yet. I'm going to save the budget for that. So I'm a little bit frugal when I start my cities, really. Yeah, I'll save that budget for that for now. We'll just bring that really nice and straight up to the water's front there. Now, in terms of the industrial, we've got that. I tend to not do rigid grids, but for industry, it makes sense to do that to start because the generic industry is honestly some of the worst buildings in the game, just the vanilla industry. So I am for sure going to destroy this and rebuild it. So for now, it doesn't really matter to me if we have quite a gritty pattern. It's the most efficient way to get the buildings in to start the game. So that's what we'll do there. And we have got power and water here, although I have destroyed the sewage outlet only because it was one of the outlets that goes into the lake, the river, ocean, whatever it is. So yeah, I need to replace this in. And Eggsy has really kindly set up the start square with the water pipes here as well. So nice little handy budget saver again. And we will need to bring the electric down here, so let's do that. We'll just use the vanilla power lines for now. And just bring that straight across for the moment. To start with as well, I tend to use the coal power plant. It's a pretty ugly building, but it is the most efficient thing in terms of getting that power in. And I know we've got power over there from the wind, but I just want to make sure we've got enough. And because I usually start with it, it's just out of habit really. So I'm going to place that in for now, just to make sure that we're well powered right from the start. So going over to the suburb area. So what I want here, we're going to have a roundabout here. I do want a little bit of like a football field, I think, kind of in between the industry and this main road here. And so I need to think of a road network to get there. But before I do that, I want to think of transport options, because here we are quite far away from the downtown. So I want to pre-plan for a train or potentially actually an overground metro line. So that is certainly, I think, going to run alongside this collector road down here. So I want to make sure that I'm leaving enough space from where I'm building between that collector and the residential that I'm putting in here. So I'm going to make sure that I'm starting this at about that kind of distance. So we've got plenty of room to shield from the noise and that sort of thing here. So I will do that for now. And we're going to go for a bit of a rigid grid pattern this side, although I will be changing it up on the other side, because I don't tend to do very straight line grids really very often. I like a bit more of a flowy grid style, a little bit broken, something a little bit different usually. So that is what we will revert to, certainly on the other side. But to start it off on this side, this is what I'm going to do. Going to bring this one out that way, have a little, it's like a beach, but because it's Boreal theme, no one's going to be sitting on this beach. So yeah, it's 13 degrees here, so it's not going to be a particularly beachy area. It'll just be a nice waterfront is what we're going for there. So let's just continue on this road. In fact, actually, I am going to curve this up the coast a little bit just to make that follow that coastal edge around. So we'll bring this road down and curve that in nicely to meet it. So we've got a nice connection there. And here, actually, I'm going to have a little bit of a cul-de-sac. So we'll bring that in like that for now. And then on the other side of the road, I will make this a crossroads because I don't think it's going to be super busy. In fact, actually, I'll make the crossroads down here, because then this road could potentially carry on further that way as a bit of a collector, taking them over to the oil fields as well as an alternate route over the highway. So I'll continue that on round like so. So now here we're going to do a bit more traditional FewCandy style patterns for our residential, which is definitely off kind of grid still, so in a grid pattern, because that is ultimately the most efficient way to do it, but definitely a bit broken and not straight lines, that sort of thing. Okay, so we do have tons of budget left, but I think for the moment this will be okay. But what I will actually do, because we've got so much budget left, thanks to the very useful power and water lines being in there already, I'm going to come through and upgrade that road, and then also put in our roundabout here as well. So just using the roundabout builder mod there, I'm going to make it pretty big. I think it's needed probably for this one because it will be a relatively busy junction with industry off here as well. And then of course for the roundabout mod, forgot to change the road type there. So for the roundabout mod we will use traffic manager as well. So shift control click sets it up perfectly for us, and then I also like to use no controller, and I usually just set them off to an offset of 20. As a default, so that those bends on the roundabout are a little bit smoother, because it feels a little bit unrealistic otherwise to me, and it does help with the traffic flow as well. It keeps them moving and not stopping quite as much on the roundabout. for those sharp turns. So there we go. So let's just check. We're definitely all right for water, apart from that top bit. So let's just continue on that grid up there. I'm not a water pipes under the road type of person, far too much effort. So I'm very happy to have a grid like that. So, okay, I think we are good to go in that respect. So let's get some zoning in. Now, my favourite thing to do in cities is detailing, but of course we don't unlock that on this map until 1,500. So this is absolutely the key milestone that we want to get to today so that we can start doing our detailing. So I'm pretty hot on asset selection as well, so I will go around and do a mass cull of all these assets that have come in here, but for now I'm just going to zone it in so that we can get our city started, we can get things up and running, and see how it looks as well. Because one bonus to zoning things in is also that sometimes in Find It you get different kind of versions of the assets than you would find in Find It. So particularly on commercial, I'll use Big Bite as an example. On Find It, you can only get one size of Big Bite, whereas if you grow it in, it might come in with a car park in front of it, for example, which you can't get in Find It. So it's quite useful actually to just zone and see what comes in sometimes. So I do use Find It an awful lot, along with Plop the Growables or Rico Revisited is actually what I'm using for that here. And we're just going to clear out these trees as well while I think about it, because we don't want them counting towards our prop count. So yeah, I do use Find It quite a lot, but I also do let things grow and see what comes in and then fine tune it as the game goes along. But to start off with, things are going to look a little bit mishmashed until we get our key milestone of 1,500, and then we'll be able to go in and do a bit more detailing, hopefully when we've got a bit more money then as well. So we've got a fairly decent amount of residential coming here. Just putting a couple of blocks of commercial in to get us started, because we will need it, and also likewise with industry as well. So I'll just put in a few blocks of this to get us started. So let's hit play and see where we get to. So we do have our first car coming in here. So our first resident, let's see who it is. Siobhan Williams, welcome. Oh, we're still on super speed here. Let's just slow that down. Welcome to your new home. And we are yet to, well, we haven't got unlocked districts yet, but we will need a name for this district. So if there is any suggestions, please do drop them in the comments below. There isn't any particular theme for this build, by the way. I mean, I am going to use mostly vanilla assets, so it will be essentially a Cities Skylines theme, let's face it. But we will have different themes going on in different districts. Like I've got the American Eclectic pack, which I absolutely love. It's a favourite of mine, so we'll be using that. I've got all the DLCs in the Content Creator pack, so we'll be using European Suburbia, I'm sure, in some places as well. A little bit slow. Actually, I will use Traffic Manager just to set up this roundabout as well. There we go. So make sure we've got that dedicated lane coming off here. Oh, and that needs sorting out. So again, let's just use Traffic Manager to make that. Oh, that's interesting. What has happened there? That is interesting. Right, let's just fix that. Gotta love that, quirks of the game. Not sure what happened there. There we go. Replace, and it works. That's the old favourite trick. So things are starting to grow up pretty slowly. We just need to get to that first milestone really of 480. So I'll whack it back up to fast speed and see when we get there. So yeah, now coming in here, I am being a little bit careful about the zoning. I'm really not a fan of the 1x1 houses, except for when they're used in quite a specific manner. So you kind of have to use them pretty intentionally for a certain style of build. So here I definitely don't want them zoning in. So I am being a lot more selective about the zoned areas when it comes to these bendy roads, because otherwise you do get a lot of very strangely sized houses next to each other. Because the 1x1s, when you put that next to a 4x4, for example, looks really, really, really odd. That's all we can say about that. So we have finally made it to our first milestone of Little Hamlet. So yeah, best news is we've got taxes now, so we can up that tax. We do have education, garbage, healthcare as well. But let's just to start off with, let's definitely up that tax before I forget. I have a habit of getting distracted with the garbage because those two are just equally important at this stage, really. So let's do that. I will also, weekly cost for, I'm not going to take the loan for now because we're only on 600, so that'll just limit our weekly income. When you get to the second loan, that's definitely worth taking at that stage. So let's not forget about garbage as well, and I do have this little asset off the workshop, which is the district recycling hub. If you look at the processing rate on it, it's 1.9 million. The normal recycling hub is 24,000, and it's only a 3x1 asset. It doesn't have any ground pollution, like it's just generally amazing. So yeah, I really recommend that one. The downside is it only has 3 garbage trucks, so you do have to put in a few of them. But like, frankly, that's not really a big problem in the grand scheme of things. So I'm just going to put in a little 1 unit side road behind the commercial here that we can put that garbage hub off just to serve that residential district as well. And again, when we get the detailing aspects, we'll come up and detail this pretty heftily. I'm just going to move this again right up behind that building just to get rid of that gap. Just helps to make things look like it's transitioning a little bit better, I find there. I'm not keen on that asset coming in here. Some of these other ones though as well, we can start to go around and select them. Like this, I want to be a very like low building, so nothing tall, nothing too bulky. This type of thing, yes, definitely, absolutely. So going around and making them historical, that's an absolute must. So here, yeah, we'll move that round. I quite like that next to the big bite as well. I think that looks pretty cute. I'm just going to move it up a touch so they look a little bit closer there. I don't hate this one, but I might just let that level up a little bit. Oh, we have got another big bite over here. I definitely don't want the McDonald's there. So that one will go, not on the corner there. In fact, I think what I am going to do here is just find it and put in our gas station there, because I really like that on the corner. Absolutely love this Shell gas station off the workshop. One of my all-time favourite assets, have to say. Really, really cute little asset. Yeah, I don't mind the laundromat on this high street as well. Now, because we have got 2 big bites in, I'm thinking I'll get rid of this one. So I'll let that one level up a little bit and we'll keep this smaller one over here. I think that looks quite neat, tucked in next to Bob's as well. So we have got quite a large demand for industry, so I'm going to go ahead and put some more of that in. But I do also want to get the school in as well. So in terms of where that's going to go, I'm thinking I'm going to have a little school over here. We'll probably have 2 in this area. It might be a little bit overkill, but this is what I did this little off-road for, was exactly for this purpose. So I'm actually going to use parking lot roads here. And in fact, because we're doing absolutely fine on money, I am going to upgrade this. I'm just going to put it on 2-speed before I forget. So we got these roads upgraded here. This is actually going to be a 4 unit. So yeah, let's go ahead and put that in now, so that we remember. And yeah, see, I have to I do this every time. It's slightly too close, so it's just pushing up the land there. So I'm going to have to move this road back just to adjust it and make that look a little bit neater along the beach. So I mean, let's just have a look. Yeah, see, it just changes up the texture just slightly too much for my liking. So I am going to go ahead and move that back. Okay, so that was actually a lot more tricky than I thought it was going to be. I actually ended up lowering the road down quite a bit to get rid of that tearing. So we have got a little bit of a bank there, but we can deal with that. So when we zone in here, we've got the terraforming options. We can smooth that out and decorate it, and it'll be absolutely fine. I'd prefer to have the semi-beach front smoother or more smooth than behind the residential. That matters a bit less to me. So let's see what we've got going on here. Yeah, so we've got some nice assets, some nice mixed assets going on actually. And then we've got things like that, which I just don't think fits the whole theme of the other buildings. But we will let them grow up a little bit before we start culling them too much. But yeah, let's get back to the school then, because that's what I was going to put in. So I'm going to use parking lot roads over here. And I think we'll use the broken one. And we'll go ahead and put that in. I think actually, yeah, I think we'll just do a small one like so, like that. And then what we can do here as well is I'm going to bend this road round this way, so turn snapping back on, and we're going to set the elementary school right up into this corner. And the reason for that is because we've got this car parking spaces on the end, so I find it looks a little bit odd when it's not up against a road. So in terms of the orientation of it, I'd rather have it like that. And we can do some nice detailing in front of it again when we get the options. And what I will do as well is extend this playground out round this way, which we can do now because we've got enough money. And we've hit Worthy Village, so we do get emergency services for that, which is great, and some industrial specialisations as well, which will help. I do want to put in a bit of forestry where we've got our industry, so we will do that as well at some point. And we have got districts as well now, so we can start having to think about policies, although it's not something I'm going to touch on in this episode, so we will do that in the next one. Like I said, if you've got any suggestions for district names, do shout them out in the comments. Okay, so that will do for the moment. I just used a little bit of surface painter there just to kind of rough up the surface a little bit, make it look more like kids are running around and wearing down that grass. It's obviously pretty bare at the moment, so we will get in more stuff once we've unlocked landscaping. So we are limited in what we've got until we get to this 1,500 milestone. And I will as well just move up this car park, so that's right up against that fence there. Leaving a very small border is absolutely fine. And then we need to get in our car parking spaces as well. Oh gosh, parking lot snapping, one of the best mods that has ever come out. And that came out, I was just like, why has that not been out for years? Oh, saves so much time. Absolutely love it. So yeah, again, we'll come around and put more detailing on that when we can. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade all of our roads now because we're doing absolutely fine for money. So we do need more industry again. So what I might do here is actually just apply a little district and start to get in some of that forestry. Because if we check on here, yeah, we do have forestry in there. So it'd be good to have some slight variation on that. And actually the raw products from that helps towards the generic industry here. So instead of them, if it's a building that's reliant on that forestry product, instead of them importing it from outside, so again, technically adding more traffic to your roads, they will get it from this industrial area if you have one. So it is useful to put in those zoned specialised industry areas, as well as having the industries DLC, of course, further down the line. So yeah, by zoning on top of the trees and outside it, we should get some of the raw forestry products, but also then the processing factories as well to help turn them into goods for the generic industry. I had forgotten about police and fire as well. So let's go ahead and get that in. And I'm going to use the older European fire station because I just feel like that looks pretty nice. And when we get all the detailing in here as well, yeah, it will look all right. Not too keen on the tower, but I really like the front of it. And police we are going to put down on the main high street. So I'm actually just going to plop it on this corner here. And we do have commercial demand, so I'll go ahead and fill in some more blocks along this high street as well. So hopefully by plopping those, that also will help to level up some of our houses and increase our population that way as well. The one thing we don't have is medical, but I do think, yeah, we have got the bigger loan now, so let's go ahead and take that. And then we can also look at getting a medical clinic in as well. Again, we're just leaving enough space for the child healthcare clinic there, so when that comes in we can plop that in next to it. And again, all this space is just screaming out for a bit of detailing really, isn't it? Okay. So now along this waterfront as well, I'd like to do, I'm actually thinking over here, so I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to do a commercial development across this waterfront, so facing out this way. So yeah, that cul-de-sac there is definitely going to have to go. Okay, so yeah, using quite a lot of intersection marking tool, a lot of levelling out with move it and that sort of thing. I think we do have a pretty decent parking area in here, so we will put commercial all the way around that and make it like a little bit of a commercial hub. Again, we just really need to get to 1,500 so we can get the detailing in and make that look a lot nicer. So we need a little bit more residential zoning, so let's go ahead and zone some more in. And we've hit it. Tiny town, 1,500. This is the one. This is the one. So we finally get landscaping. We do actually get proper industry areas now as well. We've got parks and plazas, fishing, which we will come on to, not in this episode. But yeah, the biggest and best thing is we get paths, we get fences, we get trees. My favourite thing, absolutely, in this game is trees. So yeah, super excited about that. So let's get detailing. Now there is quite a lot that we need to do. We do have commercial demand though, so I'm going to go ahead and start to do up this area. So I'm just going to plop in the commercial assets that I want to go in here. So I will do that and be right back. Okay, so we do have our commercial district with a little bit more detailing in it. I'm particularly pleased actually with how this has come out with the little benches around it as well. But yeah, merging commercial buildings together I find is a good way to make quite a varied shop front. These are really nice from the University Content Creator Pack. The signs vary on them every time you put them in, so you can make a nice varied shop front using those, and likewise these combine pretty nicely as well, although unfortunately the sign is the same on all of them and hasn't varied. So now we just need to add in trees, foliage, fencing, that sort of thing. Okay, so just added a touch of detailing in around the elementary school as well, and it's just made me realise we have yet to put in our high school or any parks. So I think that is next on the cards. And the high school is what I want over in this area as a bit of a transition between the main town and this industry area. So this is what I am going to put here. So there is a football field asset that I've got, or a soccer field if you are American, which is this one, which I think goes really, really nicely with the high school. It's something I tend to default to, and also that I think would look quite good up against this road here. Now I think that's going to have to just move slightly further back. Because this is the main collector, I think it will look quite good as a bit of a prominent feature if it is right there. And in fact, actually, that could come even further this way. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll bring a little road down here, and actually I'm going to use parking lot roads again to put a parking area in front of it. And yeah, let's just use Alt there and make sure we snap that back into a nice straight line. So how does that look? Yeah, I do think that orientation is better. Yeah, let's leave it as that. So I'm just going to upgrade these roads here, so to tarmac roads. And actually I will just use the suburban roads again here. And then we will plop in our high school. And I am actually considering using the European one. I kind of feel like this one looks a bit like a prison. I have got a custom high school that I love using, but I always use it. So I'm trying to do something a little bit different at the very least here. But I'm not overly keen on this. I'm wondering if actually we should move it in right up next to the opposite the football field, like so. So we've got the parking in between it. Yeah, I do kind of think that looks better. So what we can do as well is put a little bit more parking in up the side here. Okay, so then I think what it needs now is a little bit of extra detailing. I'm thinking some more sports fields actually over this way. So we can definitely have a look at putting those in. We've got, of course, the basketball court. I've got a mini soccer field as well, which might not look too bad next to the larger one. Maybe even a couple of those. Let's have a look. The grass is very green on them though. That is the one downside. If I could change that colour green, I would. Let's just have one of those, I think, and then a couple of, well, tennis court and a basketball court maybe. If we can get that in as well, that would be awesome. Yeah, which we can. So what I will do here as well is I'm going to use Bob just to replace these trees, because they don't really go with the style. So I do now need to remember what trees it is that we are using in this particular map. That is better. And we also are going to use Bob on this school because I can't stand those trees there again for a similar situation. They just don't really go with the theme of this map. So I'm thinking we will replace those like so. Looks a little bit too Christmas tree-like, doesn't it? Let's maybe try the Western red cedars, which I know are also on this map. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And what we will do here is definitely get some fencing in. So I'm going to join that up, just put a tiny bit of path in there so that people can walk across. Loads of people are walking up and down there, so it would be good to give them options here as well. So I'm thinking I might actually just do a bridge over the road here. Yeah, I'm going to use the amusement park path, because actually I like how the metal on it goes red. I think it's got a little red tint to it, which I think just adds a little extra something. Even though it is quite heavy pavement vibes next to our dirt road there, but I think that's good for now. And I'm not going to use it on the ground though, because I don't want that red colour on the ground, so we'll just use a standard pavement path there. And then we're just going to use Move It to straighten this up a little bit. There we go. Make it look a little bit more uniform. So there we go, we've got loads of people using it already. That is great, getting across to the school there. Again, this doesn't need to be dirt road, so I'm going to go ahead and upgrade that. I think we will just, maybe one of the ones without, yeah, one of the ones without parking, just so we make sure they're not parking. I can see that is splitting under there, so I'm just going to move that over slightly. Like so. And actually I am going to upgrade this road to the no parking version as well, and then that pavement actually looks pretty consistent with the bridge area, and we can use some intersection marking tool there just to, oh, that node is really close. So we can actually use multi-network tool here just to get rid of that node so it's not so close to the roundabout, because that will cause a bit of traffic sometimes if your nodes are too close together. So yeah, here I think we will use a bit of intersection marking tool. I'm going to turn off these crossings here. You've got a bridge right there, you don't need to be crossing there. So let's turn those off, and we'll use intersection marking tool just to help tidy up these gaps here. Okay, so apart from a little bit of judderiness, let's not look too closely at that. That looks a little bit better and a little bit smoother. So I think the other thing that is needed here is a little bit of fencing, a little bit of something extra along the roadside. So I think I'm just going to revert to some nature reserve fence for this. It looks a little bit more rural, which is the type of vibes we're going for this suburb. So yeah, we'll do that all the way up this road. And in actual fact, actually, I'm going to leave a break there, and we'll have a bit of a park type area with a walk through there as well for them. Now I don't want pedestrians moving over this roundabout is the other issue, so I'm thinking I'm going to actually do another pedestrian bridge over here. In fact, I might do a tunnel network for this one just to keep it a little bit tidier, so we will go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so I think that is going to be it for today. So It was a reasonable amount of time spent putting in just some little finishing touch details into this area. And then, of course, I remembered to myself that we were going to put our metro line through there. And one of the biggest things I hate in this game is having to delete nicely detailed areas for transport options, which is why I always meticulously plan them in the first place. So I have failed at my own lesson there. But it does not matter. I'm going to come up with plan B. Or we will just bulldoze that area, because let's face it, it is just path at the moment. We've got lots to do on the next episode. I think the main thing is we've got quite a large industrial demand. So this looks absolutely horrendous at the moment. So the next episode, I'm going to concentrate on tidying up this generic industry, because there is a way that you can make generic industry actually look pretty good when you combine assets together. So that's what we're going to be working on in the next episode. But I think that is going to be it for today. We've got to the main milestone that I wanted to get to, so now we can actually properly start my city. And before I do anything, I've just seen this, and no, I do not like that. You are not staying in my city. Yeah, I can't stand that asset. That's like my least favourite asset of all of them. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to leave you with some cinematics of the build so far, and yeah, tune in next episode where we'll be working on that generic industry and how to make that look pretty. And again, like, I really appreciate any support with my first ever YouTube video. Leave me comments below, let me know what you've thought. Any suggestions would be really appreciated. If you do want to see more and you want to catch that industry build next time, please do hit subscribe. And if you've liked it, do hit the like button. That would really, really help me out massively. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.